What's up, YouTube? Been a while since I've done a knife collection update, so I'm kind of gonna fill you guys in on what I carry every day, and I guess a little bit of why I have some of these knives. And yeah, like I said, this is kind of like a forever changing, collection. But I guess first we'll start with my fixed blades. This is kind of like my truck knife. I keep this in my vehicle. It's like a Kizer Blade HQ exclusive. It's in like CPM 3V. Just like kind of a really nice ergonomic little handy knife if I need it for stuff. I've used it, but just for things like opening things or that sort of nature. But it's just like I think I got it for like 75 bucks on Blade HQ. I was in the market for like a small kind of lightweight thing to kind of keep in my vehicle. That's what I went with. Next on, probably the most expensive fixed blade. It's called a Benchmade Anonymous. This is a big chunk of crew wear. One thing that's unfortunate, it's not really, but all that wear right there is all just from the sheath. So it's not actually because like I've done anything with this. It's literally just like taking it in and out of the sheath a few times has like worn the finish off that much. So clearly the finish isn't the best on this knife. Same thing, you can kind of see right there where it makes contact. But either way, like I said, it's a knife. It's a chunk of metal. I'm not upset that the finish wore off. Like it's a tool. But same deal, feels really good in hand. Really good jimping. I just kind of sort of like the look of it. And I'm a big Benchmade guy, even though I don't currently own a ton of Benchmades. They're probably my favorite knife company. So then we've got this big SOG. Don't really know the point of this one other than the fact that I like it. It's a SOG pillar. It's just a huge fat chunk of S35, one of my favorite steels. These were getting kind of hard to find. And I came across one and it was a really good price. It was below retail. And at the time they were going for quite a bit above retail. I don't know how the market is on them now, but I really like SOG's fixed blades. They have like the Agency and the old school, the SOG Creed. I've really just kind of liked how they do their fixed blades. And like I said, I just thought this was a really cool knife. Probably one of my favorite blade steels out there, and definitely a nice big thick chunk of it. So razor sharp, just more like a cool knife, I guess. But yeah, like I said, that's kind of I guess why I have this one. I actually do like SOG knives. I think they make a good knife. So anyways, next one. This one doesn't really make sense. I forget. I don't even know what the name of this knife is. It's actually a buck. See if it says, it's got the heat treat S35 VN. Really pretty finish. It's got a huge edge on it. There's the model number on it right there. This is like, I guess they make like a large and a small. This is the small. The ergonomics on this knife are trash. It feels horrible in your hand. This handle material feels really kind of cheap. Like you can kind of see right here, it's kind of just, I don't know exactly what it is. It's like rubber. It is full tang. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I think, it's like Boss or Bose heat treat. They're kind of known for having a really good heat treat. S35, really good steel. The edge on this thing, like I said, gigantic. When I was looking for kind of like my truck knife when I bought my Kizer, I found this in like one of the forums for like 60 bucks and I pulled the trigger. So whatever, I'm not super upset about that. So just kind of like a funky, cheapo little knife I've never used. Not like, I went through like a fixed blade phase here, but anyways, next on to my Spydercos. So I am missing one Spyderco. I have the Hogue pair of 3. So it's like the green with the it's I'm having a mind blank. 20 CV with the green handles. And I'm actually going to swap that with this one. I'll talk about in a second. But I've got like a bunch of the Spyderco like funky steels. So this is like the Maximet version of the pair of 3. Para 3 is like one of my favorite knives. You can see it's got some marks on it. I use my stuff. I don't safe clean any of these things. They're knives, they're tools. I don't really collect anything. I use everything I have. So I've got the Lynch titanium clip on here. Gray G10, probably one of like my favorite just like fidgeting knives. I love the compression lock. All my Spydercos are compression locks. Another funky blade steel from Spyderco. This is Spy 27. Don't know anything about it or what that means, but this blade is going to be going on my Hogue. I got my Hogue for like 110 bucks, brand new in the box, and I really wanted the G10 handles for this. But this being the lightweight version, it like only has one washer, and I don't know, it's missing part of the interior of the handle on the lightweight version, so you can't just buy G10 handles. Probably the worst centering on a knife I've ever seen. Does not make contact, but I think that has to do with the fact that there's only one washer, so it pushes the blade over to the side, because when I talked about it in the forum, a lot of people kind of posted pictures of theirs being the exact same way. So I think that's just a common thing. I honestly love the knife a lot more than I thought. I carry this knife probably more than most knives here. I really do like it that it's super lightweight. I love the compression lock. I love the paras. So this is going to get the 20 CV blade, and this blade's going to go on my green G10. This is, I think, called like a Little Native, or I forget what, but this was actually a Blade HQ exclusive. It's like a tiny little knife. It's in CPM M4, and then the handles are aftermarket red canvas micarta. Same deal. I do love the lock mechanism on this. It's probably one of my favorite. There's something, so like when you close this, it's kind of hard to see here, but you can see right there, right? See how that blade piece sticks up? So when you're holding the compression lock and you drop it, it'll come up, and if your finger's here, it'll whap your finger. Kind of sucks. I've kind of gotten used to it and just close it like that so it doesn't, but like it will come up and whap you in the finger. So just a small, lightweight, really good EDC. I really do hate these wire clips, but like I said, it's just a small, kind of matches this knife I'll get to. Last but not least, for my Spydercos, another funky exclusive. Kind of crazy that this is a factory knife in this funky colorway. But this is the Para 2. I think the Para 2 and Para 3 are kind of like, you know, necessities to have. It's just a bigger, the more original version of the paramilitary. This one is in CPM Rex 45, same deal. Don't know what the hell that is, but just another one of those Spyderco funky steels that I just bought into. Really good knife, really good action. Love the compression lock. This one doesn't come up and whap you in the finger. But yeah, this one right here is pretty much perfect. The action is phenomenal. The centering is perfect. I do kind of want a Lynch clip for this. I don't carry it all the time. I have been recently, just because I noticed like I don't really carry and use this knife, but I do live in a state where a 3-inch limit is the law. So I try to stay away from carrying these on a daily basis. May or may not do it anyways, but that's why I kind of like these and this. Down onto my Benchmades. I'm missing one. I have a Mini Adamus, the tan one. Another one I think is probably goes hand in hand with the paramilitary everyone should have is a Benchmade 940. This one is in M4. This is the exclusive, and I dyed the handles red because they were like that natural like jade color G10. Just not my favorite colorway. And truthfully, these handles do get kind of like nicked and scuffed compared to like the aluminum. So I think the red kind of hides it a little bit better than it did with the that jade color. But like I said, I really like the exclusive knives. I like the funky blade steels, other than, you know, just like the stock S30 V1. Centering is trash. I'm pretty sure my pivot is just loose on this. I need to Loctite it and tighten it, but it's got a really good action. It's a Benchmade axis lock, which is like probably like the best, in my opinion, like my favorite lock mechanism. These kind of act as like my fidget spinners. Like when I'm working, I'm always fidgeting, I'm playing. So this is, you know, same deal, kind of like a necessity in my staple. Next one, mini bug out. This one I modified pretty clearly here. It's just an S30V mini bug out. When I was getting back into knives, I had this and a pair of 3 and S35, which I no longer have because I have 3 other ones that I carried more. But this one has titanium scales that I custom anodized blue. So this was like, I think 25 amps or however that works. Got this really nice color blue. When you get oil from your, you know, finger and skin on it, it kind of changes it a little bit. But this thing is perfection. Blade centering is perfect. And with the plastic handles, it really feels kind of cheap. Now, like the axis lock on this is so broken in. I've had it for years. But it is just butter smooth. Like it literally feels like a custom knife now. Like it went from kind of being like this plastic handled, I don't know, I got it back in the day, it was like $100. I think now they're like 200, which is just inflation at its finest. Like things are skyrocketing. But I picked it up like brand new, but like secondhand, never used, for like right around $100. So I've got the deep carry clip. Really love the titanium. It's still nice and lightweight. It's nice and small, which, like I said, I really like smaller knives for EDC. And like I said, the fact that this was the first knife I ever anodized, it kind of is a little bit special. Love that knife. The other one here is the bailout. I used to have the full-size bug out, an M390, but the action on it was awful. So I bought like 3 Benchmades at a time, and this was one of them. I don't have the other 2. It was like a mini freak. No, it was a super freak, an M4, and the full-size Adamus in crew wear. Just too big, too heavy. This one was the only of the 3 that I kept. Didn't really like the other 2. Centering's off, whatever. You can see it's been used. It's dinged up. It's scratched. I do use these things. But essentially what I paid for the 3 and sold the other one too, this was like a freebie. So I actually made money and still got to keep this knife. Also an M4. I think it's my only Tanto right now, and I do love the Tanto. You can see there's marks on the edge and blade and stuff like that. I use it, but really good EDC, lightweight, super duper thin, but just much higher quality feeling. I don't really have any interest in like this glass breaker thing, but you can see I dropped it right there. But really good action. Just flicks open, drops close. Nice thin blade. Really just, like I said, a big part of it for me is like how they feel in hand, you know, the action, how's the ergonomics. I love this knife. I love, you know, like I said, the bailout, the bug out, really good knives. But I've tried 2 of the M390, or sorry, yeah, the M390 aluminum handle, full-size bug outs, and both of them, the action was trash. This action is like butter. Probably not as good as this one, but it's damn close. This was another kind of freebie. Not really big fan. This is like an older discontinued, I don't know what it's called, like the Mel Pardue, and there's some kind of like a model number. Don't really know. It's really just a beater. I actually bought 3 knives, a SOG and something else, and then this for like 80 bucks, something ridiculous, like stupid cheap, because it's, you know, it's been used and whatever. I fixed the blade up and sharpened it, so now it's like nice and sharp. It's got some scratches on it, but same deal. It's a knife. It's really just kind of like a beater. I love 154 CM. I think it's a really good steel as far as like, you know, an everyday carry steel. Doesn't hold an edge quite like S30V like this one does, but it's much easier for me to touch up and kind of maintain. So same deal, kind of another knife where I sold the other 2, made some money, and just kept this one. And so it's basically just like a freebie. So if anything were to happen to it, I lost it, or, you know, whatever. I had an incident recently. I had like a little cheap SOG. I think it was an Aegis, one of the new Aegis with me. And I had to throw it away because I was getting on an airplane and it wasn't that big of a deal. So change of flights, change of plans. That's kind of what caused that. My knife oil. And then down here, these are kind of like my mixed. I always wanted a Strider. I just don't want to pay Strider price. So I got a Protech Strider. Honestly, very similar knife. Fires like an absolute monster. Just like kind of like Protech is known for. Big chunk of 154 cm, as I was just saying. Probably one of my favorite steels. Very sharp, really easy to maintain, but just an absolute monster of a knife. This thing's got like no lockup, like perfect centering. You know, it's a made in the USA knife. I picked it up for like sub $200, brand new in the box. It's got the Strider clip. It's pretty lightweight, but just definitely like a heavy duty knife. Nice big thick blade stock. I mean, the jimping I think is kind of useless. Like these things are huge. And like they do work. It's just, it's not, you know, like on the back of like, let's say this thing. But like I said, I just really like the Strider look. I really love Protech knives. I think they make a great knife. I don't really know anyone that kind of would say otherwise. Their automatic is awesome. So I saw this pop up for sale in one of the forums. Kind of love the all black aesthetic, and I jumped on it. So that is something I do carry, I do use, I do like. This is one I wanted for a long time. I had the Benchmade, I guess I don't want to say equivalent because the Benchmade is far superior, but I'm having a mind blank. You guys probably know which one I'm talking about. It's an Axis lock, same colorway, same 20 CV steel, and the Anthem. So it's kind of like a poor man's Anthem. But you can still get these in stock. ZT makes a great knife, really good fit and finish, ball bearing, you know, mechanism. I do like the flipper, but I like the Axis a lot better than the frame lock. But kind of more like my, I guess, gentleman's folder, right? If I'm kind of getting somewhat dressed up, by dressed up, I mean like I'm putting jeans on instead of sweats. Really good knife to carry. Kind of classy, love the titanium, love the color. Over time with like my, you know, oil for my skin, it's kind of got like this little purple that comes into it. Like I said, it's a ZT. I think they make a great knife. I like Kershaw's. I like Zero Tolerance. I think they're, you know, really good knife. It's like a 0609, I think is what it is. Really nice finish on the blade, 20 CV, really nice high quality steel. Just, like I said, kind of more like my gentleman's knife. I really do enjoy that knife. Now this is a SOG, kind of a love-hate, not really the best knife. It's kind of like a knockoff of the Axis lock. I'm trying to think what it's the Terminus XR. So this is in CPM S35. It's kind of reminds me of like an Axis flipper because it's kind of like an Axis and it's a flipper. This jimping is super duper sharp. If you use it too much, like it does kind of jack with my finger a little bit. Good centering. I think this clip execution is trash. There's a lot of like play in it, how it mounts in there. It just, you know, same deal. It's like a $70 knife. So like what do you expect, right? I mean, it's, I guess like this carbon G10 really feels not the best. Hi, catch. Coming in investigating. But yeah, like I said, same deal. Just kind of like another like cheap, you know, fun to play with. You can use the flipper, thumb stud, or you can just kind of like an Axis lock. Kind of a funky blade shape. Same deal, kind of like a beater. Like I've used this knife quite a bit, even though it doesn't really show it. I think on my end I can kind of see some scratches and some scuffs, but just really good blade steel. And like I said, for 70 bucks, I mean, no complaints. I mean, it's a good enough knife. It's, you know, I don't know. It's not made in the USA. I know that. It would be probably double the price, but for 70 bucks, you know, no complaints there. Another one of my kind of personal favorites, actually, kind of surprising. It's a Hogue Deca. I think they're like somewhat affiliated with Benchmade. I don't really know exactly, but this is like I think it's like an Elishewitz. Yep, they do like Benchmade stuff. This is in CPM Magna Cut. Another one of those funky steels, right? Like Magna Cut, Spy 27, Maximat, like just these funky blade steels. This one is supposed to be really, really good with rust retention, like really like a super stainless. Honestly, I love the blade shape. Kind of like controversial, but like on a daily basis, very practical when I'm like opening boxes and that sort of stuff. It's really been a pretty useful, sorry, the cat here. It's been a really useful blade shape, surprisingly. It's definitely blade heavy, so the handles are just plastic. And I was going to get the aftermarket ones, but I just really like kind of what this knife is. It's very like, it's almost like my Para 3 lightweight. I just really kind of like these, you know, like there's really no flex. I can't really get the handles to flex or anything like that. It's strong enough. It's got like the pillar design. Really good action, really good centering. Love this pocket clip. I mean, when it's in my pocket, like you really don't see anything sticking out. I don't even know, like it just disappears into my pocket, which is kind of why I always go to my Para 3, lightweight. Just a good knife. Like I like it a lot more than I was expecting. The jimping on this is like perfect. The action is perfect. And the blade shape, like I said, after using it, I like it significantly more than I anticipated. So this is a made in the USA knife. The thumb studs are really, really effective. They work really good. I kind of like the aesthetic of this knife. I just think, you know, it kind of grew on me a little bit. I picked it up for around $100 on eBay, like used, but it came pretty much brand new. My brother has the Magna Cut version with the blue carbon handles, and it's definitely nicer. But I mean, he paid like $250+ for it. And I just like that this is like a lightweight, inexpensive knife, you know, with kind of like that axis lock mechanism. It's one of my most carried knives. Like I'd say this, probably this, and that lightweight are probably my 3 most, you know, carried knives that I own. So yeah, my Hogue Deca, like I said, the only other knives that I'm planning to add are the MSI. I did own one briefly, and sorry to be one of those guys. I posted a picture. I didn't even put it for sale, but somebody messaged me and just made me an outrageous offer, to the point where I couldn't say no. I didn't, you know, post it for sale to try to price gouge or anything like that. But I'm going to get the MSI for sure. The only other knife that I am really planning on getting is the Benchmade bit or tagged out, it's called. They're coming out later this year in a orange Magna Cut blade with a carbon fiber handle. So that's definitely one I'm going to be adding to my collection. So as of now, those are really the only two. I've kind of been looking at an Ultratech, but you know, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, like I said, that's kind of my collection. I've literally owned this Spyder Pack Small for probably like 15 years. Way back in the day, I had like a I can't remember, an Endura 4 and like a couple SOGs or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, I have so many knives, I can't, you know, I don't know what to do with them. So I've owned this thing forever and ever and ever. That's what this is. But anyways, guys, like I said, let me know what you think. I don't, you know, to me, this is a pretty good setup for like what I do, what I use, what I like to carry. This one I could probably live without. That one I could definitely live without. But just with the nature of what they are, like they're not even worth selling. So drop a comment. You know, like I said, I'm kind of getting back into like my knife game. I've owned these a long time. I just haven't really posted anything about them. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.